I'm in the center of exactly nowhere right now, and as a motorcycle enthusiast, I couldn't have asked for more. To have a limitless landscape, absolute freedom, and the ability to go just about anywhere is a motorcyclist's dream, and making that dream possible is a breed of motorcycles called the Adventure Tourer. This right here is Suzuki's take on this very fast-growing segment, and it's called the V-Strom 650 XT. Let's find out if it has the ability to take you exactly where you want to go as well.
Before we get to its capabilities, it sure can be said that the V-Strom looks very purposeful. From the characteristic beak and the tall windscreen to the mostly blacked out cycle parts and a generously proportioned seat, the V-Strom is all about looking like it belongs to the outdoors, and Suzuki has done a good job with fit and finish levels as well. The chunky grab rail, which also extends into a luggage rack, adds ruggedness to the V-Strom's design, apart from a good dose of practicality, of course. The instrument console, however, looks a bit dated, even if sticking to an analog tachometer may have been a conscious decision given that the V-Strom isn't intended to be a city slicker. The switchgear feels built to last, and the mode selector button, which allows you to browse through the various readouts and the traction control settings, is very intuitive. What a lot of you will appreciate is that the V-Strom, despite being a 216 kg motorcycle, is a very friendly package. With a reasonable 835mm seat height and the fuel tank being fairly slim where it meets the rider, the V-Strom doesn't intimidate, and it certainly doesn't pose any challenges even when you're just getting familiar with it.
The V-Strom ticks all the right boxes in the design department, and while it lacks outright aggression, it's got a purposeful stance and presence which makes it gel easily with even bigger adventure tourers out there. I'm a big fan of the wide and spacious seat, and the best bit is the bike feels substantial without being inconveniently large in any way. However, is this a case of all style and no substance? Let's find out somewhere over there.
The V-Strom 645cc parallel twin motor has a big responsibility on its shoulders. It's meant to take you across continents after all, and thankfully it lives up to it. With 70.7 HP on offer, the V-Strom darts off the line with unsurprising energy, but it's the mid-range performance propelled by the 62 Nm of torque at hand that has an addictive quality to it. The motor is extremely tractable, and its terrific responsiveness means you can overtake without even a moment's hesitation. It's at home sustaining high speeds on the highway, with 100 km per hour in 6th gear arriving at the 4500 rpm mark and 120 kph coming in only another 1000 revs later. Thanks to the 20-litre fuel tank, you can also enjoy the V-Strom's highway performance without frequent interruption, since it gives you a range of well over 400 kilometers. And if you're the kind who just wants to have a whale of a time kicking up dirt, the V-Strom is only too willing to join in. It's got the off-road hardware you need, and with the disengageable traction control system, you can really let its hair down, or its tail end loose to be specific, and have a ball while you explore undiscovered bits of Africa or whichever inhospitable place takes your fancy.
The V-Strom has always been popular internationally given how usable and practical it is, and there's a good amount of power to keep you entertained whether you choose to ride on tarmac or off the road. But what makes it really sweet is the generous amount of torque that's available through the rev range. Suzuki's low RPM assist also helps immensely in city crawling because it reduces your chances of stalling unexpectedly. Also, the crisp fueling means you can ride it exactly the way you want without any unpleasant hiccups. It's nice of Suzuki to offer a 2-level traction control, although to be very honest, you're not really going to need it given how controllable this motor is. On another note, at 6000 RPM and beyond, there is a mild buzz in the handlebar, but it's not a deal breaker given how comfortable this bike is on the whole. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to go ride it some more.
The V-Strom has the ability to keep you riding without sapping you of energy, which is something any good adventure tourer must achieve. Rather than trying to dominate the rider and the terrain, the V-Strom lets you be the hero, backing you up with a solid, dependable package that just won't let you down, no matter how demanding your riding pattern may be. The suspension setup is well suited to the worst Indian roads can offer, and that leaves you with no concerns about bad stretches of roads or even nasty potholes. I wish Suzuki would choose to give it more than the 170mm of ground clearance it currently offers, but that would make it a bit too tall for some riders. However, on the whole, the V-Strom has all the goods to keep you clocking long days in the saddle, which is exactly what you want from this sort of motorcycle.
It's hard to believe how manageable the V-Strom 650 really is. The aluminium twin spar frame keeps the bike slim and makes for very good handling on all kinds of road surfaces. However, unlike the Kawasaki Versys 650, the V-Strom only gets a conventional telescopic fork, which means it lacks the outright sport bike agility of the Versys, but it makes up for it by being an overall good handler that keeps you grinning within your helmet. The combination of a 19-inch front and 17-inch rear wheel works beautifully, especially over the rough stuff, and you get these cool wire spoke wheels and tubeless tires, which is just the right recipe for a healthy dose of adventure.
At first impression, the V-Strom comes across as calm, predictable and easy to tame, all of which it is. But as you get to know each other better, it lets you in on what really makes it a fantastic motorcycle. The V-Strom is an immensely capable bike, but it makes no compromises on comfort or rideability, which is commendable. At the end of the day, the formula to the V-Strom's appeal is simple, good engineering, and that can just never go out of style.
You have to work really hard to earn your freedom, but thanks to the Suzuki V-Strom 650 XT, you only have to work till you have about 7,46,000 rupees at hand, which is the ex-showroom price of this motorcycle. Here's a bike you'll really enjoy riding up the mountains, but you'll also have a lot of fun riding it to work on a boring Monday morning. And that kind of combination is just impossible to resist, right?